were in a automotive accident that was very, very severe, that paralyzed my 3-year-old son, and the passenger of the other vehicle had flown through the windshield and passed away. The driver of the other vehicle was kind of a troublemaker, and he already had felony warrants out for his arrest. The passenger was his fiance, and he left her laying dead in the ditch. She was the mother of 4 children. He had been drinking. He said he had taken some shots of brandy for a toothache. There was only a matter of maybe a quarter to a half of a mile from that stop sign to where we collided. And they estimated that he was going about 87 miles an hour. He crossed over the center line and was headed down into the ditch on our side of the road and was bringing his vehicle back. I never seen headlights because he was turned sideways. While it was a head-on collision, it was almost a T-bone at the same time. Stephen didn't get out and come to see if we were okay. He didn't check to see if Larissa was okay. He decided instead to run and to save himself. He left the scene, and a fully loaded CO2 tanker semi came down that northbound lane. My vehicle sat in the northbound lane facing the headlights of that semi. We didn't have any lights on our car, so I'm sure it was difficult to see us. There was a slight curve. And so you would automatically assume that we would be really hard to see, but Morgan was able to recreate the accident scene to show that no, there was enough time, there was enough distance, there was enough space. The driver was driving too fast. The driver of the semi wasn't paying close enough attention to what was in front of him. Needless to say, that semi hit my car. So we had a second collision at about 50 to 55 miles an hour, another head-on collision. It took rescue crews over 3 hours to get me out of that vehicle. The whole front end of that Buick LeSabre sat on my lap. Noah suffered a severed spinal cord. The spinal cord is like a rope. It doesn't grow back. It does not heal itself. It cannot be corrected or fixed. So at the age of 3, Noah lost his ability to walk. He is permanently paralyzed from the armpits down. He has no sensation, so he needs help with, I don't want to say virtually everything, but in some ways, yes, virtually everything. He is not able to use the bathroom by himself. Getting dressed is definitely a challenge, and we have definitely made the most of the very long wait of 8 years for something to come of this situation. Morgan was brought onto our case because he's an expert in tractor trailers. I found him to be very sensitive, very charismatic, and very confident that he could make a difference.
He helped out my brother and he got us a brand new van, and now he's able to give us the opportunity to get a brand new house. It's rather a tight squeeze in the doorways in general, and Noah's wheelchair just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
weren't for Morgan, we probably wouldn't be looking at properties, or we wouldn't be thinking about building a house, or we wouldn't have that big white van out in our front yard. He took a lot of time, I think. I mean, that's a whole day to come and get to know me. He sent me all these huge books. I mean, I told him I like long books. He sent me a 1,000-page book. I'm glad that Morgan was there, because if he wasn't, I'm sure my case would still be going on.
It speaks volumes. I think that kind of behavior speaks volumes, that he really genuinely does care. And I think that's hard to find. I think it's very hard to find someone that is that professional to genuinely care to the extent that Morgan cares. Having funds available to help alleviate some of those struggles makes a world, night and day difference. And I think that's part of what drives Morgan, is he wants to make things better, but I think he wants to help make things right. Without Morgan, I don't know that we would have won our case.